Hey everybody, it is John Weisskopf, Blue Eyed Capital, and today we are going to talk about what is impact investing. This is one of my favorite topics because it's interesting. It's actually been around for quite some time, way back into the early 1900s, and I'm going to define impact first. So impact investing is investing with intentionality, and it is really, really hyper-focused on the intention of investing to obtain not just a financial return, but also a environmental and social outcome. Now you're going to think, isn't that what ESG is? Hold your breath for a second. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to give you a little history. So years and years into the past, 1900s, tobacco, food, assembly lines, oil, how you obtained oil, how you mined, how you drilled, how you did this. So each evolution, each invention, each change in the way that we did something, it might sound counterintuitive that stuff is impact, but if you look at something like how we used to drill for oil, the most controversial when it comes to impact and environmental now, but back then that's all we had. We had nothing. We'd actually hunt whales to get oil. Then they discovered oil in the ground. When you first discovered the ground, they would drill oil, go flying all over the place, right? Today, it's much more contained, much more clean. And yes, we have discovered a negative effect of that. But then hasn't there been innovation to that? Look at electric cars, look at renewable energy and solar and hydrogen, wind. So each one of those, when somebody invested in that, intentionally invested in going out and finding that, they made an impact. So that's really broad definition, right? And I want to keep that as a very broad definition. Where impact and ESG really differ. ESG was set up because there was this notion that we needed to know about what businesses were doing. So what were they doing about their impact to the environment? What were they doing about their impact to the social aspect? And what were they doing to govern themselves, right? How were they managing this? How were they tracking this? How were they staying accountable for the actions of themselves? So ESG had this great intention, but where it floundered in my perspective is there was no single way of measuring. Companies started putting out these very, very lofty goals, which are necessary, carbon neutral, all those things. I am 100% in agreement with those types of goals. But it's not necessarily tangible all the time, even in ESG reporting, which is really backwards focusing, right? So you create these ESG policies, you go off through the year. What did the company do in that year to stay to their policies? Did they remove natural gas from heating? Did they go to full electric? Like things like that. How much carbon did they consume? How much carbon did they offset? Great. But how were their actions specific to one thing? Businesses are huge. So in the early 2000s, I think it was, maybe mid 2000s, Rockefeller Foundation really coined the word impact investing. And from that point, it has really taken on a meaning of its own. And it has actually started to stand at in my perspective, a higher level than what ESG stands at. So as I mentioned, ESG is this environmental social governance and its policies, and the reporting of that is how companies have acted against those noted policies. Impact is this intentional intent, lack of a better word, this intentional intent to do something specific. So let me give you a few examples that I like to use. Take somebody that cares about water and the oceans. So they might go and invest in things that are rebuilding coral reefs or cleaning up the oceans, removing plastics. I think there's that big, gigantic floating mound of trash in the water, right, that moves around. So that's one example. Say you believe in clean energy. You might be investing in nuclear, maybe cold fusion, maybe just solar panels, right? There's all these different aspects you can do. Maybe you believe in electrification, so you invest in cars. Maybe you believe in human health, and so you believe that robotics can eliminate the need to put humans in dangerous situations, like bomb disposal, for example. I painted this broad picture, but I think it's important to understand that impact is really it's grounded by its intention. And so why did I choose Blue Eyed Capital to be an impact investor? Well, as a dad, I realized that the necessities that I'm able to give to my son or able to have for my family are not there for everybody. And those necessities come back to this one underlying belief that I have, which is it starts at home. And so parenting is one thing. I'm not going to get into that. That's not what I'm here to do. But what I am here to do is provide healthy homes. Buildings have such a massive influence and impact on our health that with a healthy home, you can create a healthy person. That healthy person with the right resources resources, such as internet. Might sound basic to you, not basic to everybody. That internet gives somebody access to education, to health resources, after-school resources, financial literature, financial literacy. And so I want you to unpack that for a second, because it's really important to understand that there's so many ways to do impact. So now back to what we were talking about. I've chosen, and guys, I'm going to pause for a second because I need to put some notes. So when we talk about impact, and we talk about where the failings of ESG have maybe come up is in its measurement. ESG does not have a consistent way of measuring. And quite frankly, impact is really just starting to get there. Now, why I believe impact has a better chance of being intentional with its reporting is because, let me give you an example. Say a company says, I'm going to create all net zero energy homes. That's all I'm going to do. Well, they can easily show that they produce all of the renewable energy or all of the energy for the house using solar, using wind, whatever other renewable source they want to come up with. And it's there, and they have no connection to the utility company, or they have no utility bills, and the utility can perform or can confirm that. That's a way of measuring. How do we measure social impact? We look at things and potentially look at things like, how long does somebody stay at our apartments? That's tenant retention. What are we doing from an engagement perspective to help our tenants? Have we lifted up their financial stability? That could be through reporting their on-time payments to credit agencies. It's really ironic. I'm going to throw this out there, a little tidbit. It's really ironic how rents and on-time rents are not reported to credit agencies yet. You need a credit report to get it in most apartments. Kind of counterintuitive, right? So when we put together this measuring system, and the Multifamily Impact Council, which I'm a member of, they have a great framework specific to multifamily, and it allows us to come in and intentionally create these opportunities, I'm going to call them. And so this is how these opportunities pan out, and why impact, I believe, is the ideal investment strategy. You're an individual that is on a mission. You're an individual that has values. That is me. That is Blue Eyed Capital. Our values are creating better homes for individuals and trying to build a better future. To do that, we go in, correct, and build and provide, clean up our homes, help our tenants, help the planet. Healthy home, healthy person, healthy planet. You're an investor. Let's look at it from your eyes. You care a lot about social aspect. You care a lot about affordability. Well, now you're able to go out and search for investment opportunities that focus just on that cause. Maybe they do more, maybe they only do that one thing. But the example I gave before about, oceans and caring about clean water and protecting, Earth, you can go out and find specific investments for that. So the beauty of impact is its ability to align so closely with each individual's needs. So that's really why we just see impact as such a valuable tool. There's a lot of myths out there when it comes to impact investing, and I want to break down a couple of them. So the first one is that impact is greenwashing or impact is fake, and that's a lot of this anti-ESG mantra that's been out there. I'm going to say this: if impact is greenwashing and impact cannot produce higher profits and higher returns, why has impact focused and environmentally focused companies outperformed the S&P over the last 20 years? Look at a company like Apple. Yes, a great product, but their product is great not just because of its technology and its technical prowess, but it's also because they listen to their customers. So they are shareholder focused and they take shareholder input, not just stakeholder input. People believe that businesses are in business only to make money. Yes, that is right. Businesses have to make money to be profitable. But why can't businesses do both? And that's the question that I pose out there when we talk about impact investing. I'm going to give you my favorite example when it relates to multifamily, because that's my wheelhouse. So take utilities. The best any multifamily operator can do out there, and what they pitch everybody out there today is, well, I'm going to bill back my tenants for electricity, for water, for sewer, for gas, for trash. That's wonderful. That's great for you as an investor. Added costs to the resident, but for you as an investor, for you as a building owner, for you as an operator, that's only a $0 line item. Can't charge them more, can't make profit on that. Now what happens when I put solar and I become the power company? Well, now I'm charging my tenants for power that I make. That's an income. My expenses are maintenance, very small compared to the income I would make. Did you know that there's federal government tax credits and grants that allow residential homeowners and business owners to install solar and get money, free money? Tax credits between 30 and 70%, affordable housing grants costing you $0. So I just broke down that myth. How do you be profitable consciously and help? It's just answering a different challenge. It's just looking at things intentionally with the right outcome or a different outcome. Is impact riskier? I would actually say that non-impact is riskier. And this is why I say that. Buildings are getting older. Utility rates are increasing. Utility companies have aging infrastructure. We have some of the oldest infrastructure in the world. Utility lines, power outages, wildfires, trees, weather conditions. All of these things, when I use impact to build resiliency, my property or that property will be more valuable than the person sitting next to me in 10 years. So food for thought. So next time you're looking at an investment or next time you're thinking about what can I do to do more, maybe ask the question, who am I doing it for? See, ultimately for me, impact is about my son. Now I can impact his life by leaving him some money, making his life a little bit easier, offering him tools and resources and support that he needs to grow. But what is he going to do with all of that if the world isn't able to survive? So I come to you today and say, well, I want to focus on humanity, because if humanity just can survive, then all of us survive. I really hope you enjoyed listening today. I hope you got some good information, some good tidbits about what impact investing is, what it can do, why at Blue Eyed Capital we are 100% focused on impact. If you enjoyed this, put some comments in the comment section. If you're not following us yet, go to our website, www.blueeyedcapital.com. Sign up for our newsletter, sign up to be aware of impact. That's all we share is impact-focused real estate investing, education, tools, resources, knowledge. To a better life, to a better future, to a better community, to a better planet, better world. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.